Welcome back to QLE's Bag of Decks. I'm QLEP, and today I have a very different deck type for you. Any of you out there ever have your opponents pull out some crazy combo with either artifacts or enchantments? Well, I have. It always drives me crazy because I never include enough removal in my decks for those card types. So with that in mind, I made a hate deck. This deck hates on artifacts and enchantment permanents. It hates hard. When building this deck, I had to find the right balance of hate to put in the deck without sacrificing win conditions. So a lot of my hate also doubles for other things. So let's start off with Polukranos. I chose Polukranos because of 3 reasons. 1, he fits the colors. 2, he is a win condition all his own. And 3, check out this flavor text. Freed from the underworld, the World Eater resumed his endless feast with reckless enthusiasm. That's pretty sick, huh? And it kind of fits the theme, right? He's eating artifacts and enchantments. You get it. Anyways, so without further delay, Polukranos Reborn is a 4/5 legendary Hydra with a CMC of 3 green. He has reach, and his ability reads, pay 6 and either a white or 2 life, and transform Polukranos Reborn. Activate only as a sorcery. His flip side, Polukranos Engine of Ruin, is a 6/6 legendary Phyrexian Hydra with reach and lifelink. He's also green and white. His ability reads, whenever Polukranos Engine of Ruin or another non-token Hydra you control dies, create a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra token with reach and a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra token with lifelink. Now, I do want to make it clear that this is not a Hydra deck. Now, starting off with the mana base, as always, we have 7 forests, 7 plains, blossoming sands, botanical plaza, brushland, command tower, fortified village, grey pelt refuge, overgrown farmland, radiant grove, razorbirch thicket, sungrass prairie, sunpetal grove, Thornglit Bridge, Argoth Sanctum of Nature, Boseiju Who Shelters All, Blighted Woodland, Cave of the Frost Dragon, Evolving Wilds, Field of Ruin, Homeward Path, Lair of the Hydra, Mystifying Maze, Path of Ancestry, Terramorphic Expanse, and Vitu-Ghazi the City Tree. Next, I would like to go over the creatures. Many of these creatures also provide hate towards artifacts and or enchantments. So in CMC and alphabetic order, we have Devoted Caretaker, Cankerbloom, Gallagreeters, Quasali Pride Mage, Scavenging Ooze, Viridian Zealot, Aranus Gloomstalker, Flickerwisp, Kitchen Finks, Kodama of the West Tree, Reclamation Sage, Foundation Breaker, Glimmerpoint Stag, Goreclaw, Terror of Qualsisma, Loxodon Gatekeeper, Renata, Call to the Hunt, Voice of Many, Acidic Slime, Ao the Dawn Sky, Conclave Naturalists, Disciple of the Sun, Karmic Guide, Molder Slug, Springleaf Avenger, Sunscorched Regent, Thalia's Lancers, Thrun, Breaker of Silence, Archon of Valor's Reach, Cleanup Crew, Deadwood Treefolk, Sun Titan, Earthquake Dragon, and Sealbane Hydra. As you can see, many of them can destroy artifacts and enchantments. Up next, I'll go over sorceries. Rampant Growth, Carnivorous Canopy, Fade into Antiquity, Kodama's Reach, Search for Glory, Creeping Corrosion, Explosive Vegetation, Fade from History, Late to Dinner, Shoot Down, Cleansing Nova, Traverse the Outlands, Winds of Wrath, Austere Command, and Rishkar's Expertise. Instants in this deck include some creature kill, which is incredibly important because having just hate isn't going to cut it in Commander. So first off is Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, or Mutation, Disenchant, Fateful Absence, Crib Swap, Tempest of Light, March of Otherworldly Light, and Molder. Next we have some Planeswalkers. A Johnny Unyielding, Archangel Elspeth, Elspeth Tyrell, and the Eternal Wanderer. Now let's go over the strategy. Early game, we want to ramp or deprive our opponents of early mana rocks. Take out those soul rings, mana vaults, mana crypts, etc, etc, etc. Also, take out any artifacts or enchantments that seem important to their strategy. Next, we play big beefy creatures and continue to deprive our opponents of their artifacts and enchantments. Your commander is cheap to cast, and once transformed, resilient to death because of the death trigger. Before you know it, you've taken out key parts of combos and you've stopped your opponents from being able to have card value. One of the best parts of this deck is that it's cheap to build, and if played right, should be fairly effective against most decks that run artifacts and enchantments for critical support. You will run into some decks that steamroll this deck because they run very little artifacts and enchantments, but you can still sometimes eke out a win through careful plays. Well, everybody, that is the deck. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Remember, if you like my content, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more deck builds. And again, I'm going to provide a full link to the deck list down in the description. And thanks again for watching Keyless Bag of Decks. I hope you have a fantastic weekend.